garment. It makes it look way professional on the inside, a lot more professional on the inside. If you look at any clothing that any of us have, you will see serging on the inside. Normally on the side seams, you're gonna see serging. Any knit fabric is serged together, okay? The purpose of these sergers is just strictly not garment construction, but to overcast that edge, to finish off the edge, to make it look a lot more professional, okay? So you can look at anybody's. There's serging on everything that you have, all right? Now, the thing about a serger is this. There's 4 spools. You can see 4 spools. Some commercial sewing machines have 3 spools, which is fine. It's a three spool. I use 3 spool when I don't want to use a 4 spool and spend the money. You can buy a commercial serger for $199. It's a great investment piece if you have it, all right? It's not necessary because you can zigzag your edges, you can pink your edges, you can do a lot of different things to clean finish off your edges. You can see that fabric starts to shred. You see that? Or fray. Fabric, the fibers in the fabric are going to start fraying. And over time, when you wash that, it's just going to fray to nothing, okay? Especially a woven fabric like this, or like this. This cotton is just gonna start to fray. You can see it. You keep washing this and it's just gonna fray, 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 fray. But then you pick something like a knit. Knits do not fray. They don't fray at all, okay? A lot of the garments that I make from knit fabric, I just serge them together, okay? Serging is very forgiving. It has elasticity. If you serge knit fabrics, you can stretch it still. If you stretch the woven fabric, it's not gonna stretch, all right? It's not gonna stretch. A serger will cut off the edge and overcast in one step. Meaning, if you accidentally cut or serge something you're not supposed to, you run the risk of getting a hole because it will cut your fabric. Here's the blade right here. There's 2 blades. There's a blade right down here. There's a blade right down here. Phoebe is afraid she's gonna get her finger caught in here and it's gonna cut off. Honey, you can't get your finger in there. You can't get your finger in there. You can get your fabric in there, but you can't get your finger in there, all right? To thread this, it's like doing brain surgery. No, I really don't know because I've never seen brain surgery, but I want to show you what it looks like to thread this. Okay, you see all of that? That is how you have to thread it. Okay? Normally, if it comes unthreaded, just holler at me. I will do it. I can do it quick. I can do it pretty quick. I've had lots of practice. I've had lots and lots of practice. Okay? Everything that we do in here will be serged. All right? You normally will not serge until you try something on, until we know that it fits, because once you serge it, you don't want to have to rip out 4 threads of serging. Okay? You don't want to do that. It is a lot. It is a lot, and it's very time consuming to rip it out. All right? Okay. There are no markings on the serger. There are no markings on the serger. What does that mean? That means that you need to be vigilant as to where the cutter is. How much are you cutting off? Because you don't want to cut off. The whole purpose is not to cut a gazillion amounts of fabric off. It is just to finish off that edge, okay? You have 2 pedals on your serger. You have the one on the right, which raises and lowers your presser foot. It raises and lowers your presser foot, all right? And then here's your gas. This big pedal is your gas. All right. Two things with the serger. One, you always leave a tail. You can look at the gray one, there's a tail. Here's the black one, there's a tail. The white one has a tail, okay? We need to serge off the silver and then cut it off right here and leave that much of a tail, all right? Leave that much of a tail. You just can't pull out the thread like your sewing machine, you can't do that. You have to just serge it off. Chain stitch is what it's called. Chain stitch it off to the silver and then cut it. The other thing, you can't go over pins. This is a pin-free zone. Pin-free zone. No pins going over this. What happens if we go over a pin?
Bad news bears.
Well, you're all right. We run the risk of needles breaking, which, FYI, these needles are smaller than your sewing machine needles. So those sewing machine needles will not fit into these. These have serger needles, okay? You also run the risk of nicking this cutter and putting a burr in the cutter. Have you ever gotten burrs in your scissors and they just chew? Same thing with this, it'll just chew. And then you run the risk of just putting the machine out of time. Okay, there's a specific timing, you know, for your sewing machine like this. Same thing with the serger, okay? All right, what I want you to do when you get over here is, when you cut these two pieces out, I want you to cut out like a scrap so that you can test the serging out before you use this as your piece, okay? Before you use this facing piece, okay? So, if I'm lining it up with the edge right here, I'm just gonna line it up with that edge and let it go. You can see that it's going to do a straight stitch and then it's going to do the overlock stitch. But then on the back, it's all one piece. Does that make sense? Okay. I just want you to play around. When you serge off the silver and then give it a haircut right there, leaving a tail. You've got to leave your tail. Once you think you have it, I want you to serge both of your pieces. Now, I like to line it up with the presser foot. If I'm lining it up with the presser foot, then I'm not, and you can see that stuff is starting to fly. And it'll start going down here. We'll have little puddles. You can see over by my white, because I made a costume this morning. You can see my puddle of fibers. A lot of times I will keep those fibers. I told you, I don't know if I told, no, I probably didn't tell this class. I think I told my little 10th graders. I will keep those, and right above Liz is a bird feeder. And I make those bird feeders and I stick them out, and the birds make nests and they build their nests with those. It's kind of neat. Anyway. Just FYI. Okay. Serge off and cut it. And then you're going to serge this side too. Now, you have to just make sure that everything is out of its way when you stitch it, because I can guarantee somebody's going to put a hole in something, because it happens all the time. Okay? But look at how professional it looks. It just really does make your piece look more professional, and your ends will not ravel. What I like to do is take your fabric, and whichever color is going to blend into the background best is up to you. Whether you use the black, the gray, or the white. Okay? I will never put different colors on these. One of these colors will go with everything. If you're confused as to, you know, oh, I have red, should I go black, should I go gray? You never want to go like if you're serging on black fabric and have a white serging. Then I'll have to say, really? Really? That's laziness. Come on. Okay? Once this is done, I want you to press it. The iron is on. I want you to press it. Mine will be over by my machine as a visual if you need to look inside here to see how it is done. Okay? I'm going to add one more word to your list up there. So we covered understitching. Understitching is stitching down the seam allowance to the facing or to the lining. Okay? Serging is right here. It's an overcast stitch. And then I'm going to put it facing, because we talked about this being a facing or a lining piece, right? It just makes it look so much nicer. Any questions?